How's it going? I'm Ryan. Today, I'm going to go over the 3 trades that I took on NQ today. First trade was a small winner, just a small scalp. The second trade was a small loss. And the third trade was essentially it was a re-entry of the second trade that ended up being a decent win for me. So we'll take a look at those in just a second. We're looking at the daily time frame here on NQ. Downtrend kind of continues. 3 out of the last 4 days have been pretty solid sell-offs. So big moves down. Oddly enough, I caught bounces on my trades today. So all my trades were longs. Probably would have been better if I was going with the trend, but I only traded a small amount in the morning. So let's take a look at some of the things we're watching here. We had yesterday's high and low designated by these green and red levels. It's kind of in a similar range from where we were the previous day. So the same zones apply as well. So about like 17,918 to 17,927 or so. And then down here around like 17,836 to 17,826, about a 10-point range. Essentially what we were looking at is we had this range established yesterday, and we were hoping to see a break, to one side or the other. We did get a break to the downside today. And yeah, you see what happened. We kind of broke out of that range to the downside and really had a dump. So heading into the day, what did I want to see? In the morning, I kind of liked that we were above this range here, retesting. I was hoping that we would, after showing some strength, we'd retest and continue up towards yesterday's high a day. So that influenced my first trade of the day. Once we started dumping, I caught a bounce down here. But yeah, the main moves were definitely made to the downside. But let's take a look at what I did trade today. So like I said, if I back this up, let's take like a look at a 30-minute chart or so. We had this clear range here, right? In 30 minutes, you wick above it, wick above it, wick above it, wick above it, failing to kind of close above it. I suppose near the end of yesterday, we did get that close and then that hammer in that area before selling back through. But what I liked is that we made this low, bounced, we're trending up, closed strong above this level, and we're coming back and retesting it. So kind of a resistance at the top of this range from the previous day. So as we were coming down to retest, I wanted to see a bouncing continuation, and that influenced the first trade of the day here. So I took a call, or not a call, I longed MNQ on here and got a quick scalp on this. My stop was a little bit below this zone here, and this is something that I'm working with. NQ moves pretty volatile. It moves pretty rapidly in opposite directions, and it can be tricky to have a tight stop. So I let this one have a little bit more of a wiggle room. I got a good entry too, because I was patient for this retest of this area. Got in around 17,924, so somewhere right in here, and my stop was about 10 points lower, so I had about 17,914 or somewhere in here. So this got pretty close to the stop. I think I gave it a little bit more. I think I gave it like 12 points or something. I was kind of down towards the end of this range down here, so around like 17,912 or so. Got close, but then we pushed up and I got out pretty quick. I got out pretty quick because it was just moving kind of unpredictably, right? We saw prior we bounced and then we came right back down into this area, which was where I entered the trade. Kind of pushed up and started pushing up, and as we pushed up, I trimmed pretty quick. So this wasn't the greatest trade. I had a little over a 1-to-1 risk to reward on this. That was my first trade of the day, and my second. From there, we started dumping. Something that I missed as I was watching ES at the time, but also, it happened really quick when we take a look at it. It happened really fast on the 1-minute chart, but would have been a pretty nice entry in hindsight, is this retest of this previous low. So we had this previous low that we held twice before breaking down and creating new lows. we came up and we retested that low and got continuation down to this next zone. So that was a nice entry for the move down. I did not get that, however, but what I did get is a call. I keep saying a call in a long position in here. So what was I looking for? Same thing. I'm gonna back it up to the 30-minute chart, and we can look at the range from yesterday. So in yesterday's price action and the pre-market leading up to it, you can see that pretty much every time we got down into this area, we bounced, right? Wick down in there and get a move back to the top of the range. In the pre-market today, we got a wick quite a bit lower before reclaiming that and making a move back up to the top of that range. So as we approach this level, this was my second trade of the day. I was looking for a bounce here. I kind of expected today to be another rangy day after just seeing how it was kind of remaining within the range of the previous day. Obviously, once we broke here, we got that pretty explosive move down. But nonetheless, I took a long position in here, looking for a bounce. This initial move stopped me out. I had too tight of a stop, and this is something that, like I said earlier, I'm learning with NQ is you have to have a little bit of risk. You know, it moves pretty rapidly, so trying to keep like a really tight stop, unless you have an absolutely perfect entry, is kind of hard to pull off. So I got stopped out here because I did have a tight stop, but once I saw us hold this area, I re-entered the trade. Got about a 20-point move out of this area. My risk, I entered this trade near the bottom. My re-entry was much better entry than my initial entry, and so I was risking a break below the low of yesterday. So it was maybe about like an 8 or so point stop. I just said that I have to have a little bit of a looser stop loss when you trade NQ, but after seeing us put this low here, right around yesterday's low a day, I was judging that to be the case, where if we broke below, that would have got me out. So this candle here, I re-entered and then pretty much just took a 20-point swing. So a little over a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. And that was it for me today. I had a really short day. I have some family, so they're visiting, and I'm not going to really have the full morning to trade. So within the hour or so that I was there, took some bounces. We had a downtrending day. I was trading against the trend, albeit thinking that we were going to be within this range. It is what it is. They're all right. Risk management today was okay. You know, I followed my stop loss at least here, but was able to re-enter once I saw that my idea was still there. Overall, yeah, ideally I'd like to trade with the trend and capture some of these bigger moves. And I think trading NQ, I sized down today. I was only trading one contract. That allowed me to feel a little bit better in some of these areas where I was widening my stop loss a little bit. So I think it's a learning curve for sure. I want to become a little bit better, feel a little bit more comfortable trading NQ because the potential there is really nice. But yeah, I think today sizing down and trading it allowed me to have a better result in terms of not getting too emotional and kind of letting things play out a little bit more. With that being said, you know, the 10-20 point moves aren't a whole lot, and if I'm widening my stop loss, you know, to say like 15 points or so, then I need to look for a bigger move to kind of keep that risk to reward ratio worth it in the long term. So that's where things like trading with the trend, you know, come into play, obviously. So something we'll work on. We came out of today with a win, you know, kind of bounced back from yesterday. So we'll take it. Overall, though, looking to kind of identify some of those bigger moves, allocate the proper risk to get those proper rewards. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching Trade Live. I'll be here this week, albeit the mornings might be a little bit shorter, but we'll still be here for the first hour or so in the morning trying to catch some moves. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.